Welcome back to the deep dive. So, real estate, it often gets painted as this really glamorous world, right? Like a gold rush of commissions, an amazing house.
Definitely has that allure.
And yeah, that's part of it for sure. But underneath all that sparkle, there's this like bedrock of practical stuff, especially the money side when you're just starting out.
That's it.
The truth is, a lot of aspiring agents, they kind of get caught off guard by those first financial steps. And look, that's a hurdle we really want to help you clear with, confidence.
Exactly. It's often the part that feels like a maze, fees, paperwork. But if you understand it early on, it's actually a huge strategic advantage.
Right.
It stops being this big, scary obstacle and becomes more like a clear path you can actually navigate.
And that's pretty much our mission for this deep dive. We are going deep into licensing costs you need to budget for.
Yep.
We're going to pull back the curtain, give you some real world insights. We've got lessons, stories, really practical advice, all designed to help you on your journey into real estate. It's not just listing expenses.
No, not at all.
It's about really understanding that financial landscape from day one so you can handle it like a pro.
And our aim really is that by the end of this, you'll feel not just more prepared, but way less overwhelmed by those first crucial money steps of becoming an agent.
That's the goal.
We want to give you some key strategies, help you spot and, avoid the common traps, offer some practical guidance so you can focus your energy on learning the market, building your business.
Not just scrambling for cash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Understanding these costs up front, it's not just ticking boxes, it's literally building a solid foundation for your whole career.
Okay, let's start peeling this onion then. Licensing costs you need to budget for. Sounds simple, like a checklist maybe, but I think, trust me, it's way more intricate. We're not just giving you numbers, we're aiming for a strategic playbook here. Think of it like your roadmap, right? To sidestep those financial potholes and kind of speed up your journey into real estate.
Good analogy.
So first up, what's a strategy new agents maybe overlook? Something that would actually reduce their upfront financial strain or just make the whole process smoother?
That is a fantastic question because, most people just focus on the total number.
Right.
But a critical strategy, one that's often missed, is to leverage payment plans and tiered options for your pre-licensing education.
Okay.
Don't just grab the first course you stumble upon, really research providers. Look for ones that offer installment plans or maybe bundle things like study materials and exam prep together. It effectively spreads out those initial costs.
That makes sense.
It makes that big upfront sum feel, a lot more manageable. You're optimizing your cash flow right from the beginning instead of facing this one huge bill.
Yeah.
It's about seeing this as an investment you can manage, not just some expense you have to, swallow whole.
That's brilliant advice. It's like finding a layaway plan for starting your career. Okay, you've highlighted the strategy side nicely. Now, let's flip that coin. Where do new agents mess up financially, especially with these initial costs? What are some common, maybe even surprising pitfalls that kind of trip them up?
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting because the pitfalls often aren't the super obvious ones. A major one is focusing only on that initial state licensing fee.
Right, the main one you think of.
Exactly. You've passed your exam, you're so close to the finish line, and you completely forget about the cascade of other expenses that hit you right after.
Cascade, okay. Like what?
Well, we're talking about mandatory continuing education or CE fees. These are courses you have to take regularly, often every year or two, just to keep your license active. If you don't budget for those, it can literally stop your career down the road.
So it's definitely not a one payment and you're done kind of thing. It's ongoing.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just the state CE. New agents often forget about local board dues. These are essential.
Why essential?
Well, these dues aren't just for a nice certificate. They give you critical access to your multiple listing service, the MLS.
The MLS, right. The database.
It's your lifeline, basically. Active listings, market data, comps. Without it, you're flying blind. And you'll probably need to join a local realtor association too, and those have annual fees.
Okay, so board dues, association fees. What else?
Then there's errors and omissions insurance, That's your professional liability protection. Super important if any issues or claims pop up during a deal.
Right, covering yourself.
Many states or brokerages actually require you to have it. So these aren't extras. They're fundamental costs just to operate.
Wow, okay. So it's not just the license itself. It's this whole ecosystem of requirements you need just to actually work as an agent. That's a lot to keep track of. Anything else that catches people off guard?
Definitely. Beyond those direct licensing and association costs, a huge pitfall is underestimating the cost of immediate operational necessities.
Operational necessities. Like,
you got your license? Great. But now you need professional headshots. That can be a few $100 right there.
yeah, no selfies.
Right. Some online presence, perhaps a professional email address. If you plan on doing open houses or showing properties, you'll need lockboxes, sign writers.
Yeah, the physical stuff.
And maybe even a subscription to a CRM, that's a client relationship management system, essential for tracking leads and follow-ups. I've seen agents get totally blindsided by the combined cost of these startup tools. It can quickly add up to several hundred, maybe even $1,000 or more.
Wow.
And they just expected to start selling the minute they got that license.
So the license is just the ticket to the game. It's not the actual equipment you need to play.
That's a fantastic point. I can totally see how people get tunnel vision on just getting licensed and forget about the tools to actually do the job. Is there anything else about like the financial timeline that people miss?
Yes, and this is a big one. Not factoring in the income lag.
Income lag, meaning real estate commissions aren't instant. You might close a deal today, fantastic. But it could easily be 30, 60, even 90 days before that commission check actually lands in your bank account.
Oh, right. The closing process takes time.
Exactly. And many new agents, they've maybe used up their savings on the licensing and setup costs, only to find themselves with zero income for the first couple of months. That creates huge financial stress right when they need to be focusing on building momentum.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly stressful.
And it brings up a point.
Yeah.
How much research are people really doing before they jump in? A major pitfall is rushing the decision without fully grasping that financial timeline.
That is such a critical reality check. Okay, so what does all this mean for someone listening, someone just starting out? What's the practical guidance to actually avoid these pitfalls?
It means you got to be proactive, methodical. So the first piece of practical guidance, create a detailed, comprehensive checklist. Don't just write down licensing fee. Break it down. Pre-licensing course fees, state exam fee, application fee, fingerprinting, background check costs.
All little bits.
Yep. Initial E&O premium, your first year's local board and MLS dues, and a realistic budget for those initial marketing and operational tools we talked about, headshots, CRM, etc. Research all of it thoroughly.
Okay, research thoroughly. But where do you find reliable info? Because, let's be honest, the internet can be confusing.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
So second piece of practical guidance, always consult the official state real estate commission website. That's your source for the most current, most comprehensive fee schedules and requirements.
Official source, got it.
Then cross-reference that with info from reputable groups like the National Association of Realtors, NAR, and your local board. Don't just rely on what a friend told you last year.
Right. Things change.
Exactly. That info might be outdated or incomplete. Verified information is your best friend here. It minimizes nasty surprises later on.
That's great advice. Treat it like a proper research project. Okay, and finally, on practical guidance, what's that one budgeting tip we should all kind of tattoo on our brains?
It's simple, but it's powerful. Budget with a buffer.
A buffer, like extra cash.
Exactly. Don't just budget for the known costs. Prepare for the unknown unknowns, things that just pop up in admin processes or maybe cost a bit more than you thought.
Okay, how much buffer are we talking?
Building in maybe a 15-20% buffer on top of your estimated total initial costs. That's your peace of mind fund.
Right.
It lets you cover unexpected fees, maybe lets you invest in a slightly better course or tool if you need it. And honestly, most importantly, it seriously reduces financial stress during what's already a pretty demanding time of learning and transition.
That's gold. Seriously, that buffer is so critical for managing the unexpected. Okay, so connecting this to the big picture. A new agent who is financially prepared for these costs, they start with a real advantage, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. A distinct advantage. They're not stressed about covering basic operational stuff. They can actually focus their energy on learning the market, building those client relationships, honing your sales skills.
Instead of worrying if they can afford their next renewal fee or their first lockbox.
Precisely. It allows them to truly hit the ground running instead of, stumbling right out of the gate.
Okay, now let's talk about really applying this stuff.
Yeah.
We've covered the need for strategies, avoiding pitfalls.
Yeah.
But how do we make this real for you, the listener? This part's all about examples, maybe some case studies, tips to help you apply what we've discussed to your own situation.
Yeah, this is where the theory really hits the road, right? Like, consider an example. two aspiring agents, both super enthusiastic, equally talented. Let's call them Agent A and Agent B.
Okay.
Agent A budgets only for the state exam and a basic pre-licensing course. Passes with flying colors, feeling great, but then realizes they have nothing left for the application fee, the initial E&O payment, or the MLS membership.
Ouch. I can almost feel Agent A's frustration right now. Licensed, but basically stuck on the sidelines. Can't actually start working.
Exactly. So they face delays, frustration builds. Maybe they lose all that initial momentum while trying to scrape together more money.
Okay, so what about Agent B?
Now, compare that to Agent B. Agent B meticulously budgets for everything. Pre-licensing, exam fees, fingerprinting, application, a reasonable E&O premium, initial MLS, and board dues.
The whole checklist.
The whole checklist. And even puts aside a starter marketing budget for headshots and cards, plus a small reserve for the first few months of living expenses while waiting for that first commission check.
Wow, the difference in their starting experience must be huge. Agent B, because they accounted for all those costs, just moves smoothly from passing the exam to actually launching their career. No financial hiccups.
Right.
They can focus on finding clients, doing meetings, instead of stressing about paying for their email subscription or whatever. That's a really powerful case study in foresight. It shows the real cost isn't just the license. It's the launch.
Indeed. These aren't just abstract ideas. They directly impact your ability to get going effectively. Another tip related to this is to break down the total costs into manageable chunks. Align them with the phases of your licensing journey.
Phases, okay. Like how?
Like phase 1, pre-licensing education and materials. Maybe that's, say, $300 to $800, depending on the provider and what's included.
Okay.
Phase 2, exam fees and application submission. Typically around $100, $200 for the exam itself, plus maybe another $50, $150 for the application and background checks.
Got it.
Phase 3, initial post-licensing needs, that's E&O insurance, maybe $300, $700 annually. Association dues, perhaps $400, $700 a year for local, state, national combined. And those professional tools like a CRM, maybe $50, $100 a month, or a basic website for $20, $50 a month.
Breaking it down like that really helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Makes the mountain feel more like a series of hills you can tackle one by one. And it really highlights that budgeting isn't just a one-time thing you do. It's ongoing, especially early on in real estate. You're constantly adapting, anticipating. What about a what-if scenario to really drive this home?
Oh, great what if is, what if your first couple of deals fall through? Which, let's be real, absolutely happens in this business.
Yeah, unfortunately.
If Agent A, who barely budgeted, has their first 2 closings delayed or worse, canceled, they're in immediate financial trouble.
Right.
They might have to suddenly find another job, sacrifice all their real estate momentum, maybe even end their new career before it really starts.
That's grim.
But Agent B, with their buffer and operational budget, they can weather those initial storms. They have the financial runway to learn from it, pivot, keep prospecting, and land the next deals without that crushing pressure of immediate bills breathing down their neck.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real power of budgeting proactively. Resilience.
That resilience is so key. It's the difference between a setback being just a hiccup or becoming a full stop.
Okay, and for many new agents, how do they actually fund these initial costs? Are there common ways people manage that?
Absolutely. A lot of aspiring agents will keep a part-time job or have a side hustle going while they're doing their pre-licensing and during those initial launch months.
Okay, that makes sense.
It gives them a steady, predictable income stream to cover these costs without draining critical savings or, worse, racking up high-interest debt. Others might use personal savings they've built up.
Any other options?
Well, some forward-thinking brokerages might offer signing bonuses or help subsidize some initial costs, but honestly, that's less common, and it usually comes with strings attached like commitment periods.
Right.
The key really is having a clear funding plan before you start spending a dime. That's super practical advice, just acknowledging the financial reality for a lot of people trying to get into this career. Okay, we've hit the big strategies, the pitfalls to watch for, and how to apply this with the real examples. Now let's distill it down. What's one quick, powerful, actionable tip about licensing costs that every new agent needs to just like etch into their memory?
My quick tip would be this. Always budget 15-20% more than your initial estimate for all licensing and setup costs.
Buffer again.
The buffer. It isn't just some random number. It's your emergency fund for the unexpected. That little extra will cover those annoying last-minute admin fees, maybe let you invest in a slightly better tool you didn't foresee needing. And most importantly, it drastically reduces that financial stress during a time that's already pretty intense with learning and change. It's not just peace of mind. It's like proactive problem solving baked in.
That's gold.
Yeah.
Seriously, that buffer is critical. So wrapping this part up, what does this all really mean for you, the listener, as you embark on this exciting path?
Well, I think what really stands out is that proactively budgeting for your real estate licensing. It's not just a nice idea. It's genuinely a foundational strategy for a stable, successful start.
Yeah.
It lets you take something that could be a source of huge anxiety and turn it into a well-managed strategic step in your journey. Understanding these initial money matters, the what and the why it matters, truly impacts your long-term success. It gives you the freedom to actually focus on building client relationships and mastering the market.
We've covered so much ground.
Right.
The huge value of that proactive budgeting. We explored a whole range of costs way beyond just the initial license fee and highlighted why specific examples and those case studies give such a clear roadmap. We've aimed to arm you with key strategies, help you spot and dodge common pitfalls, and offer some really essential practical guidance for new agents.
And we truly hope this deep dive has left you feeling empowered, with the knowledge and confidence to tackle those initial financial steps, not with fear, but with strategic clarity. Remember, every successful venture really does start with a well-thought-out plan.
Absolutely. Your journey into real estate, it's a big deal, and we just want to offer our heartfelt encouragement for every step you take to keep exploring, keep building your knowledge. We really recommend you use thriveinrealestate.org as your guide.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
It really is. It's invaluable, designed to support you with detailed checklists, up-to-date info, more expert insights. Check it out.
So take that next actionable step. Use the insights you've gained today. Don't let those initial costs be some insurmountable barrier. See them as just a well-understood, manageable part of your overall business plan.
Yeah.
Think of it like you're investing in your future self, and that's an investment that will pay dividends.
And before we wrap up, here's a little something provocative for you to chew on. Beyond just budgeting for the initial licensing stuff, how might understanding and anticipating all the different professional costs, the visible ones and the hidden ones, throughout your entire real estate career, how might that fundamentally reshape your business plan and your path to profitability starting right now?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like knowing what you'll probably spend down the line on lead generation or ongoing marketing or maybe getting special certifications. Could that change how you price your services today? Or maybe influence which niche market you decide to target?
Yeah, definitely something to think about. That long-term view changes how you approach the short term.
Absolutely. Food for thought, right? Okay, and speaking of continuing your journey, please make sure you join us next time. For our next deep dive, we'll be tackling understanding state licensing requirements.
Building on today's foundation.
Exactly. We're going to keep building on this foundation, take your learning even further. We really can't wait to have you back.